Welcome to Reset with Ball Doggett, a conversation connecting our industry. My name is Zaidee Jackson, Business Development Manager for Ball Doggett. Our industry is built on community, longevity, experience, and a drive to succeed. There's an intrinsic layer of passion for the craft of print that unites us, the experience of working with customers and bringing their visions to life. The sentiment certainly holds true when we speak of the history that is captured in the walls of both Flying Colours Group and Focal Printing in Tasmania. On a previous episode, I shared my love for Tassie and how I enjoy going down and understanding the market and getting to know our customers better. I always feel a really warm connection down there, and our sales and operations manager, Michael Childs, is doing a great job in the Tassie community. I'm rapt to be joined this morning with Mr. Matthew Lowe, Managing Director of Flying Colours Group, and the very lovely Jacinta Jacobson, General Manager of Focal Printing. Thank you for joining me this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's great to have you on. I've been looking forward to this one. And now, before we get into a conversation, guys, because we're going to do a Q&A, as we all know, I would love to introduce your businesses to our viewers. So we'll kick off with Matt, with Flying Colours Group. Flying Colours Group bring balance and a do it right attitude to the table, whether you are an existing or a prospect client. We are a collective of dreamers, thinkers, printers, makers, and experienced professionals at the top of our field, coming together to share knowledge, how to grow and strengthen businesses. They began as a small printing and stationery company in 1990 and rebranded in 1994 to become Flying Colours, focusing on the commercial print market. Providing clients with the complete package has always been their passion. With this in mind came the acquisition of 2 signage companies and an additional printing company, and the creation of Flying Colours Group. The Flying Colours Group is a statewide company with complete manufacturing premises in both the north and the south of Tasmania. Focal Printing. Established in the mid-70s, Focal is predominantly a trade printer, investing in the latest print and finishing equipment for the industry to utilise. The current operators of the company are second generation who want to continue the legacy and strive for excellence in print and business management. I think that it's an exciting company that I'm in this morning because there's longevity, there's history, there's family businesses, and I'm really excited to jump in. So, guys, are you ready?
All good. I hope so.
I think you will be, mate. I think you will be. You're always ready. Now, we've literally had this extraordinary journey that we've travelled collectively. You know, on a global scale, in Australia, it's been quite different for us compared to a lot of the rest of the other countries. And it's been an emotional roller coaster mentally, and it's been challenging on a lot of deeper levels than we've ever experienced. And in some instances, it's actually been a positive and opened up doors and opportunities to see businesses in different lenses. Jacinta, I want to start with you. How are you? How's your team? How are you guys integrating back into a new normal for Tasmania?
It is a new normal. Things aren't like they used to be. And I don't think they ever will be. I really think we're in this new chapter of life, really. We're looking after each other. Yes. As management and staff, we're actually stopping, and it's different. We're eyeballing each other and saying, are you okay? Do you need anything? Yeah. It's not in passing anymore. We don't have that, how you doing? And keep walking. It's changed. So I think, that's right. And I think the distancing with customers, when they come in, that's something that's interesting. We've had some fun with the elbows and the feet, but it's definitely changed your interaction with customers and suppliers.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. Matthew, what about you guys? How do you guys?
Yeah, as Jacinta said, I think it's key to have a really good relationship with your employees. having the two-way street being open and honest, and having a communication chain that is honest as well between management staff and also employees. I also think adapting is key, and also adapting very quickly to change. We've all seen a lot of change happen so quickly. And if you can adapt, I think that you're going to be okay. But Jacinta's on the money. Ensuring that your staff are okay is probably the biggest one.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. And I think it's like any relationship, right? It becomes stronger. And
100%.
And, you know, when there's transparency around that as well, you get to understand what you as leaders can actually offer.
Yep.
Level, which I think is pretty powerful. Now, both businesses offer a wide range of services to the Tasmanian market and national market in some instances. Can you talk us through, in your opinion, Jacinta, the tone of the Tassie market right now? You know, what are some standouts for you?
Well, it's still slow for us, very slow, because we're trade. Yeah. So a lot of the printers are still using or utilising their machines, which are smaller, but because they're not so busy, we don't get there's not overflow. So it's still very slow for us. It's picking up, slowly.
Slowly, but it's going in the right direction.
Oh, definitely, and we're open.
Yeah, exactly. That's it, and I love that optimism. Matt, what about you guys?
Yeah, we obviously the commercial print has dropped significantly. I think it was always dropping anyway, and COVID's probably sort of pushed it to come a lot quicker than what we envisioned. But from a signage perspective, we haven't seen a drop in signage at all. Around the state, the north and the northwest seem to be very, very consistent as far as output goes. We have seen a drop in the south of the state, and I think that just shows that Hobart and the tourism industry that has had an effect on the south of the state as well. I don't think we realised how big the tourism industry was in Hobart itself. And I think that since our borders have shut, it's shown us and proven to us that we are so heavily dependent on the tourism industry, especially with our capital city. So we're finding that the commercial print is becoming more sustainable, and the signage, which is a part of construction as well, hasn't really dropped at all. So we're stoked that we did what we did with the signage companies when we did.
The timing was good, and obviously with the social distancing,
absolutely,
to stores and things like that would have been a balance for you guys as well. So now, print very practical, right? So as you were saying, you were doing the arm bump with clients, Jacinta, coming in and things like that. You know, sometimes there's press checks, and you guys needed to respond quickly, as we alluded to earlier. Jacinta, what were some practical elements that you put in place immediately when we initially went into lockdown as a country?
Social distancing, obviously, was the first thing, and then the COVID plan. Yes. We had to prepare that to reopen. We didn't actually close because we had two people, so one in the office and one on the floor at all times.
Yeah.
During lockdown, because we're families, so but they and being an essential service as well, we were here and able to print, but we've got the signage up now, and we ask people to clean their hands, and we're cleaning surfaces a lot more. You know, that's your operation, your day-to-day operation has changed.
Yes.
You know, you come in the morning, you clean, and then you move through and go through the production schedule and what have you. So
yeah, and it's one of those things. There's that much information coming through legislation-wise, and needing to articulate it and go through it, and making sure you're doing it.
Very difficult.
Your staff, I'm sure it would have been challenging. I mean, it was for us as well, but we got through it. But what about you guys, Matt, at Flying Colours?
Yeah, we've seen some huge change because our employment level up the north is we have 32 employees. So things like restructuring people's breaks to ensure that our lunchroom only had a certain amount of people in it, Also from a signage perspective, with our installers going out to site as well was a big one. So not only did we have to adapt internally, we had to adapt externally as well. So we had to get all of our install vehicles kitted with all the correct sanitisers, making contact with clients to, one, see if we're allowed in the building, and also what measures they've put in place that we have to adhere to as well. So we were getting legislation changes every single day because our scope is so big from, being out on site as well. We're finding changes happening daily and had to adapt very, very quickly. So it was very challenging.
Yeah, I think it's, and we spoke about it earlier, Matt, in regards to with all these changes happening, there's an intrinsic fear that comes from staff.
Yeah.
They don't know what's going on. They're, trying to get used to a new normal immediately within an hour of new processes being put in place and then things like that. So I think, having that broad shoulders as leaders of the businesses to make sure that everyone's in tune and on the same page.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
a critical role, So with every industry, we've been forced to pivot and reset and create our own agile platforms. And for me, I'm interested to know, what do you see as the key elements within a business when you are faced with challenges that are out of your control?
I wrote a couple of notes for that actual question. I wrote, don't scatter. Diversifying and restructuring at a difficult time such as this is not wise.
Yeah.
I don't believe. I think hold the business structure firm and be confident with what you've slowly built in good times, because when you're in a slow run, it's important that you focus on what you've already built. And finances, cash flow is going to be very important, and customer confidence. You can continue to offer the same services and have the relationships, good relationships with customers and suppliers. Really now is, and always has been, it's a really important part of business.
Even more so now than before.
More so now. Really.
Matt, what's your perspective on that?
Yeah, I think having a very good relationship with the staff and having a two-way street as well. The communication change, making sure that you're communicating, because things are changing so rapidly, or were changing so rapidly. The communication chain had to be there, and employees with their personal lives, that changed as well. So I think the business and the employees have to have a really good relationship to be able to change as well to the new normal. And for us, the new normal is, the opening hours of the business aren't necessarily our working hours behind the reception. So our main focus was to make sure that our employees knew exactly what the business was doing, but also the business knew exactly what the employees needed as well.
Really critical. And I
Absolutely.
think you mentioned something that I think is really powerful earlier, in the sense that your team's hours, the roster,
Yep.
in some instances actually suit their partners at home to make sure
100%.
for the kids.
Yep.
Powerful.
And that's where the two-way street comes in as well, I think. Probably prior to the whole COVID, we never looked outside of the scope of the whole, 8:30 to 5, 8 to 4:30. So I think with that change, it's opened up new doors as well, and sort of acting as split shifts, and the employees now get to multi-skill across different platforms. We've got print guys that work in our signage guys that work in our print. So it's enabled our employees to adapt and multi-skill as well.
And I'm guessing probably an elevated level of motivation because they're learning something new.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Trying to set new goals for the employees.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting, I think. And that actually takes me to my next question, and I didn't even realise the segue. Now, both Focal and Flying Colours, you guys really are a successful and vital part of the Tasmanian landscape. What motivates you, Jacinta? What do you do to stay motivated?
What? Oh, people. I think mainly. That's my main passion in life. I love people. So I think looking after the staff has been so rewarding. We've got a team of people that are like-minded like us. They want to execute good work and they're passionate about print. And I get to look after my little brother every day of the week, so that's pretty good. That's a good incentive.
I think that's pretty powerful. I think that's probably one of the.
I think my main thing is people.
Yeah, and it's certainly. I feel like I've known you for years. I've got to be honest with you.
Thank you.
Matt, what about you?
Yeah, I think I strive on the leadership all throughout my life, like whether it be coaching football, being a parent, or being the leader at work. Like I strive on being a leader and asking people to follow what I'm doing and have confidence in what I'm doing, and I love that, and that really motivates me to get up every day. Especially through this last 7-8 months, is leadership, I think, was key to it, and strong confidence leadership as well, I think was key throughout the whole pandemic. If staff seen their leader sort of become an emotional mess or something like that, I think that they might lack confidence. Not saying that it wasn't emotional, it definitely was behind closed doors, but I think that to show leadership every day and to be powerful with the messaging and all that sort of stuff is what really strives me to be where we are today.
Thank you for sharing that. I think you're right. I think it's a combination, and it really is in the same breath of what both of you were talking about. Because it's about people and making sure they're the heart of the business.
Absolutely.
And it really is a beautiful sentiment regarding you live, because I feel that about Tassie all the time.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty awesome. Now, I mean, as we all know, businesses have been thrown some pretty intense curveballs through Australia for the last 7 months. We spoke about pivot strategies, adapting to fast-moving models, and based on legislation, clients' needs, clients' availability as well. Working from home, and there's been a lot to digest around that and to articulate to teams. We've touched on a few elements here, but there's been specific learnings I think that each businesses for their own models have actually drawn from experiences. Is there something that you feel that's impacted your business specifically from ultimately from a learning perspective? Jacinta, is there something that stands out for you? We spoke about people, we spoke about getting finances right. Was there something else that you found to be quite profound for you?
There really wasn't. It was just business as usual. Because we're trade, so we trade in a completely different manner to a servicing commercial business.
Yeah.
We service other printers.
Yeah.
So, and designers. So we're not in the same position as such. We did build on our publishing entity, which was exciting because now we've got projects in 2021 that I wouldn't have been able to get done, and I've invested time in those, which has been really exciting. We didn't have any specific change, I think, because we're trade. So
it makes a big difference.
It was business as usual with COVID rules applied. So
I love the optimism around that particular answer too. And Matt, what about you guys? Everything that you've gone through, is there one specific learning that stands out for you?
Yeah, probably working on the business. Flying Colours Group have had so many changes over the last 24 months that it enabled us to really sit back and have a look at our business model, our business structure, implement some changes, work in conjunction with employees, and really give. Before this, we were so busy that we probably weren't looking on top of the business and looking in the business as much as probably what we should have been. Where now I've got the ability to be able to do that, and from a learning perspective, I think that it showed me that if you don't work on the business and you're working in the business, what are you working on, if that makes sense? So it was a big learning curve for me, but also showed me from the outside what we need to look for on the inside as well.
Yeah, I think that's a really powerful learning, because you're turning your business upside down and understanding what gap analysis are.
Yeah.
And that values cycle within a business is so powerful to have that transparency around it, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's now I want to wrap up the session with one question, and it's one to keep us, on an elevated level. What has been a positive experience, whether it be personal or professional, for you, Jacinta, throughout all this time of crazy and, in some instances unknown, has there been something that really has warmed your heart and brought you joy?
Well, I'd like to say homeschooling my children for 4 months. But and try to run a business, but I can't, because that was not fun. I suppose, time to be present.
Yeah.
When you're a business owner, you might go home, but you're 55% present at any one given time. You're always at work.
Yeah.
It was a really nice time to, be having shorter days and be present. I think that
would absolutely warm anybody's heart. So I love that response. Matthew, what about you?
Yeah, I'd say talk. We talk to a lot of people in other industries, and found that to be a real positive. We got ideas from different industries, even though we're a very specific industry. When we talk about commercial print, there's so much similarities with other industries as well that we've probably never looked at. So I think broadening our network to other business owners in different industries, and then throwing up ideas that people can work on as well, I think that was a real positive for us.
Collaboration is such
Absolutely.
a time, isn't it, for now?
Yeah.
It's always been something, but I think it's probably heightened in a way we've never ever seen it before. And
for sure,
I'm having a conversation with you guys in Tassie via Zoom. Before I would have actually tried to make that a personal conversation, and fly down to Tassie, which, trust me, I would have preferred. But,
Absolutely.
but yeah, I think there's a lot of changes, and through this new normal, we've got to find those optimistic moments and the gold nuggets and go, you know what? I'm gonna go with that and smile for the day. So
yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
You have to, and
you can find.
Sorry, Jacinta.
Yeah, you can find good things in everything, can't you?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And I think it's one of the biggest things for me is a mindset, making sure you are in that mindset of wanting the outcome and being present and driving for that particular outcome to be successful. So, and what a great way to wrap it up, because I think this interview was absolutely successful, and I appreciate you both for joining me. Thank you so much for being present and being part of Reset.
Thanks for having me.
Lots of love from a distance.
Oh, thank you so much. I think I seriously cannot wait to land in Hobart and hang out with you guys over a meal and just reconnect again. I think that would bring me a lot of joy. So thank you again.
Yeah. Well, reflection on all this will be nice, won't it?
Absolutely.
Definitely will.
I spoke about reflection in the last episode, and it's about, celebrating those moments. So now to our viewers, I want to thank you for joining us on this journey through Reset. And we are literally finishing up next week with episode 12. So thank you for coming on this incredible journey of discovery and learning and reflection. And we appreciate your time that you spend jumping on to our YouTube channel. Now, like with all our wonderful guests we've had in the past, Matt and Jacinta have responded to the question, what does optimism look like to you, for you in your business right now? Please head down to the description in the YouTube description area, and you will be able to read their responses. while you're there, we do welcome you to subscribe to our channel. Until then, I am Zaidee Jackson for Ball Doggett. Stay well.